Today our objective is to use logarithms to perform calculations with compound interest. And when we're all done today, we're going to do an activity and you're going to explore how to use compound interest. So that's where we're headed for today. Today we're going to explore the rule of 72. Now the rule of 72 is the time where interest rates, based on the interest rate that you have, the time where your money that you either borrow or invest will double. So that's what the rule of 72 is. So anyway, today what we're going to do is we are going to do some exploring of when an investment that you were to make or an amount that you were to borrow, when would your money double? Okay, so that's what we're looking at for today. In this activity, we're going to use a spreadsheet and we're going to find the number of years it would take for an investment to double at 3% annual interest. Then we're going to find the product of the interest rate of the doubling time. Now, in order to do that, we need to work with the compound interest formula. Now, the compound interest formula is this right here. It says A, which stands for the amount, is equal to P, which is your principal. Principal is how much you borrow or how much you invest initially, times 1 plus R over N. R is your interest rate that you borrow at or that you invest in, divided by N. N is the number of times it's compounded each year, and when you compound it, that means you're adding the interest that you've accrued back into your loan, raised to the N times T, where T is time in years. So here's our formula here, and what we want to do is I want to use that formula and we're going to determine when the doubling time would be. So my time is T, I need to solve T. P is my initial amount, so I'm going to plug in 1. And for my A, I'm going to plug in a 2 because I want to know when the amount that I originally borrowed doubles. In other words, when A is 2. So here's where we have right here. Now, I'm going to let N be equal to just 1. In other words, it's going to be compounded annually, so once a year. All right, so we're solving for T. So that means that N is a 1 and that N is a 1, so I really don't need to worry with N in this problem. So here I have a problem, and notice I have T as the exponent. Well, how do I get T by itself if T is in the exponent? Well, ask yourself this question. Do you see a log? Okay, look right there. Do you see a log? If you don't see the word log, that means you're going to take the log of both sides. Now, I'm going to use base 10 for this log. All right, and so after we take the log of both sides, then notice here that in order to solve for T, notice I can bring this T value right here out front. Then I'm going to divide both sides by the log of 1 plus R. And then I'm going to flip it around so that my T is on the left side. And this is my formula right here. Okay, now we're going to use that formula. Now at this point in class, I'm going to have you go get a computer. And from that computer, you're going to set up a spreadsheet and you're going to do an activity and you're going to do some exploring. Here are the questions that you're going to be exploring from your textbook. So looking at these, you're going to see it says in cell A1 through AC, enter the column headings for the rates. And I'm going to just kind of drop it there because we're going to walk through this in class. Now, please make sure you bring your textbook. Notice how what you're entering into the cell is a little bit fuzzy. You can't quite see it in the video. But from your textbook, you're going to be able to see it just fine. So these are the instructions for 1, 2, and 3 that you're going to be walking and exploring in. And then once we've done that, then we're going to explore a little bit more with some further questions. Okay, let's go to those questions. Here are the questions. There are 6 questions that you're going to be walking through with your group, and you're going to record these questions on a lab sheet that I will give you in class. The lab sheet will look like the one on the next slide. So your assignment for tomorrow is, well, we're going to take a look at at this lab sheet. I'll hand this lab sheet out to you in class, and we're going to walk through each of these questions. And remember, this refers to page 530 in your textbook. All right, and we're going to be doing this as a group. All right, folks, that's all for today. I will see you in class tomorrow when we are going to explore Rule 72.